have Jaymes O'Farron. Now, this is a master of nerds, if I have ever heard one. And he is talking about fractal thinking method with Workflowy. Jaymes is a professional speaker, coach, and certified insanely nerd. He enjoys boggling people's mind with big words and crazy ideas. Here you'll get a peek into how his mind works, and it can help you potentially avoid a mental institution. Take it away, Jaymes.
Thank you so much, Rose. I love to think. That's just kind of my thing. And that really comes as a shocker to all of you. But I like to create ideas, just generate them en masse, like John was talking about. And my strength, you could say my superpower, is correlating those ideas, connecting them all over the place, and then pulling out value and pictures out of the constellations that result. This is what I would call fractal thinking, which is actually a mathematical term. If you Google fractals, you will have your mind blown. The most beautiful things in all of creation are actually in the visual representation of mathematics. And the idea that it all stems from is just recursive patterns. You can look at a broccoli. You can look at clouds. You can look at leaves on a tree. You can look at the water flows in rivers and how a big stream branches into smaller streams, which branch into smaller streams. And when you think like that, you can chunk your thoughts. You take one massive subject, what I call a kernel, the initial premise of your idea, and start expanding on it. Like, okay, why? And then what on each of those whys? And then how on each of those. You can branch it out in so many different ways and explore each one iteratively until you get to the minute details from all the way branched out into this massive, insanely detailed concept. But how do you keep track of it all? That was always my challenge. I'd have all these ideas, they're all up in my head, but how do I write them down in a way that reflects the way they're connected in my head? See, when I would sit down and I would try and take notes on something like Google Docs or Evernote, I would start typing, and before long, I'd be reaching for that bullet notes. But so I need to start putting these bullet points, because bullet points are basically a fractal in text. You have your headlines, and each one of those has subheads. And underneath some of those might have some more subheads. But have you ever really tried to be a power user of bullet points in Google Docs or Evernote? Have you noticed how the last few start getting scrunched down on the side and completely unreadable? You try and move one, and it completely screws up the formatting for everything. And you try and move it around. Oh, my goodness, it's a nightmare. And then Workflowy. Oh my goodness. It's almost like a religion. I kid you not. It is ridiculous how amazing Workflowy is. So almost my entire life is in this app right here. It's a website. You have an app on your phone. You can access it as well. And so this right here is just my singular node for Toastmasters. And if you'll notice, I have in my home node has every aspect of my life, and then all the different projects that I have, all categorized in different categories. And I have Toastmasters there. And each one of these are different things. And you notice as I did that, I was navigating and zooming in and out of bullet points. This is the power of Workflowy. Instead of having every single bullet point there all at once, I mean, if I click up here, you can show all of them at once, every single detail at once of all of them. And that's even just the ones that aren't completed, because I have every single speech I've ever given in here. In fact, down here, all my speeches here, these are actually all my notes. In fact, this one I'm giving right now is in here. And what I do is when they're complete, I can just Control Enter. Marks as complete, takes it off the list. If you want to see all of them, you can mark it as seeing all the completed stuff. And you can go back and look through the archives, which is absolutely fantastic. I can undo it, keeps a complete revision of that kind of stuff. You can do all kinds of things like that. What I do here is one of the most powerful things I have is the mirroring feature. So you'll notice some of these have diamonds here. This is a particular speech. If I go over here, my goals, and I have every path that I'm on with all the levels, all the projects that each one requires, and under each one I have the project that's attached to it. This is a mirror node. So any edits I make here will actually reflect down here in the same way. So it can be in multiple places at once, which is super powerful. Now, the other thing you can do, I have all this stuff. I want to see like what's coming up. I want to see what's happening today. You can attach dates to them and it'll filter by those dates. This is what's happening today, these particular events that are going on, particularly this speech that I'm giving right now. What if I want to look at next week? I can do that as well. I can do ranges like the 1st through the 10th of December. If I spell it right, it'll filter that. You can have, I actually track my clients through this, and I'll have hashtags with different things that are related to that, and I can filter by those across the entire network of everything I'm doing. I mark it something as to do in every aspect of my life and keep track of them all in one spot. So this is an all-in-one tracking app that is incredibly efficient and powerful, and I highly recommend you try it out and use it. Thank you.
Game over.